Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a wonderful day, whatever day it is that you clicked on this video. Today we're just talking about 5 books that I really want to get to this summer that I don't have scheduled into any video plans yet. So that's it, that's the pitch. I just want to say, a lot of times I feel like I know what I'm talking about when I hold up these books and then I read them and I realize that I told you completely wrong. So if I lie to you, I'm sorry, but I don't love to go in knowing a lot of details about the book. I usually only read half of a blurb of a book before I decide if it's going to be for me or not, and that's how I choose my TBR. Every book on my shelves back there, that's how I choose it. So let's go ahead and get into the video. This first book I'm going to talk about has been on my shelves for so long, I think 5+ years maybe, and I'm so excited to read this and I don't know why I haven't picked it up yet. And that book is The Girl Who Drank the Moon. I feel like a lot of people have read this. Obviously it's very critically acclaimed and a big hit in the book community, although not as much anymore because I feel like I don't see people talking about this in recent videos at all. This book follows a town that donates a baby as an offering to this witch every year because some misconceived notion, some way, somehow made them think that they needed to give up a child sacrifice. I'm not clear on the details, but the witch is actually a very kind, warm, loving woman. One year she gets her baby and she has been just giving them to families to adopt, or barren families on the other side of the forest for years. But this specific baby, this specific year, she accidentally somehow feeds this baby moonlight, and now this baby is kind of magical. So that's kind of the preface of this book, and then what we're actually following, I think, is more jump forward in time. This girl is turning 12 or 13, her magic is getting very strong. There are elements at play that are threatening both her and her witch mother and also the village, the town, the area as a whole, and she's gonna use her magic to do some amazing things, I'm sure. So I wanted to read this forever. This is priority on the TBR and I'm just so excited. I'm finally gonna commit to it this summer. I'm hoping to get to it at least by the end of June, if not right away in July. Okay, then I have Milkman by Anna Burns, and this book is, I believe, set somewhere in Ireland in an unnamed town. We have unnamed characters, which is a really interesting narrative choice. I took an Irish literature class in college when I was still doing my English degree, and I absolutely loved it. By far the best class I took all of college. We read from many different decades, a ton of Irish authors, and it really proved to me that I enjoy Irish literature specifically. So this has a very interesting narrative style. I believe it's a little bit speculative, although I'm not sure. The blurb on the back is very vague, so I'm not 100% sure, but I think we're following this girl and her family. She is just named Middle Sister. That's all we know about her. Some things have been happening that she has either seen or experienced. We're just led to believe that there was an encounter with the milkman, and we don't know what happened, we don't know what went down. There's rumors and gossip, and it just sounds super interesting and super fun for me, and this has been on my TBR again for a long time. I just hauled it in a birthday book haul. I finally found a used copy at my bookstore. So anyway, I'm hoping that I can get around to this. This is not top priority like this one is, but just if I have time to fit this into my reading schedule this summer somewhere, I would love to do that and just see more of what it's about. Okay, then I have The Pisces by Melissa Broder, which I just read Death Valley by Melissa Broder in my last video that went up, I think, and I absolutely loved it. I gave it 5 stars. I've been kind of putting this off because I've heard a lot of bad things about it, but it really seems like it's my vibe. We are following this woman who has recently broken up with her boyfriend from a very serious relationship, and I believe she goes to house sit for her sister? Yes, along Venice Beach, and one day she's out along the beach and she sees this man that might also be a fish, swimming in the ocean, and they essentially have a love affair. At least that's what I think. And I actually have a video plan where I think I can fit this in. It's gonna be really silly, and I'm not sure how well it's gonna do, but it's just something that I wanna do because I surprisingly have a lot of books on my shelves about women falling in love with fish or creatures. So I'm hoping that I can fit this in there. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that this has the same kind of dry, witty, humorous writing style that Death Valley did, because I absolutely loved the way that story was told, and that's what made it 5 stars for me. And then obviously this has magical realism, speculative, fantastical elements, and that's just everything that I love in a good summer read. And it's also nice and short. Looks like it's just over 250 pages. So I'm stoked. I'm so excited, and hopefully you guys get to see that video this summer because it's something that I have been considering filming for a while. Then I have Daisy Jones and the Six, which I know I'm the only person that has never read this probably ever, but I did watch the show last summer and I absolutely loved it. And so I want to experience this story in writing. I want to hear the internal monologue, the inner thoughts, the interview format. Like, I just want to experience all of that. And I'm so excited to finally read this because it wasn't something that was really on my TBR. I didn't think it was something that I was interested in until I watched the show and I realized how kind of emotionally deep it goes. So I've kind of heard that people that love the show don't like the book as much and vice versa, but we will see. I think that this is going to be, at least hopefully, a win because we love Taylor Jenkins Reid in this house. Again, I'm assuming that this will be a quick, fun read. Fun maybe isn't the right word. A quick, emotionally taxing read, but I love to feel something when I read a book. And then last, this might have been in my spring TBR. I honestly don't remember, and I'm not going to rewatch that video. If it was, I'm sorry. I didn't get to it, obviously. And if it wasn't, then nobody cares. Beautiful World, Where Are You? I have read this. I have read this before. I would love to do a reread of this because it is the only Sally Rooney that I have not given 5 stars. And I just feel like the time that I read it the first time, I was not really in a headspace to really appreciate what it was doing. I was in school. I was doing a lot of schoolwork. I read this over the course of like 2 weeks, which is insane for me because usually when I love a book, and not to say that I didn't love this, because I did like this a lot the first time I read it, but I think for me to fully love a book, I have to read it a little bit more quickly so that I can make all of those really minute details and connections that maybe I wasn't able to make the first time that I read this over such a long period. So I would love to give this another chance and read it in like 3 days, maybe annotate it if it's feeling right, and just re-experience this story. Let me read the synopsis so I don't spoil anything, although I think it's kind of hard to spoil litfic. Okay, so the synopsis is actually pretty vague. So basically all you need to know is that we're following this group of 4 people, friends, and they are sometimes romantically involved and sometimes not. And they've been friends for a fairly long period of time as this book spans, and they are just dealing with the emotions of being in their 20s, and that is what this book is. So nice, short and sweet. That's all I have for you. Just 5 books on my summer TBR that I don't yet have precise video plans for, and so I'm excited to get into all of these and finally experience all of these stories. All of these are 5-star predictions, by the way. I think, fingers crossed. Daisy Jones and the Six might be a little, I don't know. But this, I really do think I can give it 5 stars the second time I go through it. So anyway, thanks so much for hanging out with me today, for watching this video, and I will see you in another video soon. Bye.